Quick little Misconduct 101 mini-series. So Misconduct 101 will start off by explaining step 1 is to develop 2 alternate egos and make them play different. Step 2 is to find the right balance of playing each faces and covering each basis. One of the first topics we'll be going over is understanding sentence. Understanding sentence by splitting it up into 2 separate terms: predicate, what is it doing, and subject, what it is. What is it doing, how or why this idea is being communicated, or a state. I'm sorry, I'm speaking very quickly and I shouldn't be. How or why this idea is being communicated, a statement or a question, for example. The subject, what it is, the idea being communicated about. I'm going to read this sentence. We're going to analyze, break it down. We're going to analyze this paragraph by breaking it down. Using a word to communicate an idea. Why would you want to do that? Short answer, many reasons. The long answer is many reasons. It is a tool, so be creative about it. The first sentence, using word, question mark. Using is the predicate. Word is the subject. And that question mark indicates question. Pretty simple. We all know what using means. Using. We also know what a word is. We know how to use it as a subject, and we all know what a question mark is. How to indicate question. That's a pretty simple thing to understand. Next sentence. To communicate an idea. To communicate an idea. The predicate, to communicate. Subject, an idea. The period indicates a statement. So let's break that down. To communicate. What is happening here? What would be the reason for an idea? Well, the reasoning in this sentence is to communicate. Next sentence. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do is the predicate. That's a little more advanced than to communicate. To communicate, that's simple. We understand the parameters of that idea. Why would you want to do? That one starts to get a little more advanced, and you have to have a little more context or reasoning to be able to answer this most of the time, honestly. Subject, that, and again, we have a question mark, which indicates question. Next sentence, short answer, many reasons. The predicate, short answer, is a short predicate, not too advanced. We all understand what that means, short answer. Where it gets complex is this directory pause. It's a semicolon. A semicolon, what I've learned, or what I think I've learned to be true, is the amount of time, you would use this when you need a pause, of the amount of time between a period and a comma. Subject, many reasons, followed by period, which indicates statement. Next sentence. The long answer is many reasons. So the predicate, the long answer is subject, many reasons. Period indicates statement. So I don't know if I should be expressing this as much as I am probably going to, but notice how the long answer is a lot more advanced to understand than to communicate. It takes a lot more context to understand the long answer is. The long answer is to what? Many different things. The subject, many reasons. Next sentence is, it is a tool, so be creative about it. Now, at first I thought that I was being smart and having a little creativity by putting the subject at the beginning instead of at the end, like in every previous sentence. But now that I think about it, I might be incorrect, but it's okay because it still shows the main idea that I was trying to push with this sentence about being creative, because, so think about it how I thought about it the first one, and I'll explain why it's wrong and how there's a correct way to think about it that isn't this way. So I had the sentence, it is a tool, so be creative about it. I thought that the subject was it. The predicate is a tool, so be creative about it. And then the exclamation mark. The reason I wrote it was because it is a very advanced predicate. To provoke this idea, you would have to be at least pretty deep in conversation by this point. We're very familiar with the person. So whenever you're speaking of something and they are asked, why are you speaking of it? I thought the correct answer would be, you are speaking about it because it is a tool, so be creative about it, which is a much more advanced answer than, let's say, why you're talking about it to communicate. Why are you talking about this thing? The many reasons thing. You're talking about that because it's the long answer. But in this sentence, why are you talking about it? We're talking about it because it is creative. It is a tool, so be creative about it. So the amount of information you're taking in about it is already so much more than the long answer or short answer. It holds a lot more value to it. Now, understanding how to manipulate this tool will be to an advantage. Learn to provoke favorably, to persuade, or to seduce. Avoid speaking illegally, lying, or breaking the law.